puppies. Yeah. He not want to. Good day. I wanted to come on here. I find this very important since we are wrapping up officially the year of the snake. And I believe this month is the Chinese New Year or the new Lunar New Year, and that will officially wrap up the year of the snake. Maybe it's in March because, well, the equinox is in March, so I don't know. Either way, we're wrapping up the year of the snake, and I came across some really astounding information. It kind of like a shock of lightning bolt of clarity. I found out recently in regards to COVID and the vaccines and the COVID shots. There is some studies done where they tested the DNA with people obviously without the vaccine and have gotten like a PCR test that tested positive for COVID. Hi baby, come here. Come here. You wanna come up? Just don't scratch me, please. And then people who have COVID or had COVID as well as the vaccination. Because if you get the vaccination, you're injecting yourself with an artificially formulated vaccine, hasn't been tested for years like a normal tested vaccine would, so you don't know the long-term effects. And people, it was rolled out either way. I'm not going to get into that, but when you shoot yourself up with a vaccine, you are injecting yourself with technology, a type of particle or like very molecular technology that gets absorbed by your cell, and it tells and programs your cell's RNA to produce a specific protein. That's my protein. And tells it what to do, which is to make spike proteins so that your body can get. Now tell me how logical that is. You are because it's not like a regular protein where you take like how they used to make vaccines is they would take a scab from somebody who had, I don't know, like leprosy or whatever, like some disease, and they would like dilute it down so that it wouldn't be a live virus or a live disease or whatever, or protein, and they would essentially just have like people. This is way back when. This is like old school vaccination technology, because you're allowing the natural process of your body and the intelligence of your body to do its job. But they would just take the dead like scabs off of people or whatever, like dead DNA or biological material. They would break it down, dilute it, and then they would have people either chew on it or like give it to them in like a pill form, chop it up so that the body could gradually become used to it and make its own. It's a weaker version of a virus or protein or whatever that they would give the individual so that person's body and immunity can like build itself up and get strong enough to attack it when it did come around. Anyways, it's not how this mRNA vaccine works at all. It's all made in a lab, so it's completely artificial, man-made void logic, because there's no feminine wisdom involved in this. It's just the fucking disconnection of the mind thinking that that's what that it's right. It's the ego. That's how they can, formulate and evolve nature. Oh yeah, we're the best. We can do whatever. We can combat nature. Completely made in lab, artificial. So, and not that good things can come out of labs and humans like trying to fight diseases and stuff. However, this is just complete immaturity and negligence and incompetence and ignorance, arrogance mostly as well. The mRNA technology, basically, you inject it into you, like, so it's filled with a bunch of artificial shit. and it goes into your cell. It tells your cell, like a virus or like a program in a computer, software programming in a computer, it tells your cell to make the spike protein so that your body can get used to it. Tell me how that is like logical in like trying to get rid of COVID. You're injecting people with a technology that hasn't been studied long-term about the long-term side effects or anything to make more of the deadly part of the COVID virus. And then you're wondering why there's so much COVID spike protein. Like, either way, I found out recently that people who have tested positive for, like, they did a study and they tested people that had either tested positive for COVID or got the vaccine. And all of them had 36 different strands of different animal venom proteins, 26 of them being snake venom protein, 15 being cone snail venom protein, and 1 starfish protein or starfish venom protein. So I was like, holy fuck, that makes so much fucking sense. And it wasn't from a fucking bat over in China. If the vaccine or COVID came from a bat over in China, then how did all of the fucking venoms get into, or the DNA or the protein venoms get into those people's bodies that tested positive for COVID and the vaccine? Like that, if that shit isn't fucking like made in a lab artificially, I don't know what the fuck is. Because that's not a coincidence. And I was like, holy shit, I was like, oh my God, that's why there's so much blood clotting going on, because that's what venom does. Is like, if you see people with Botox, hi baby, they're putting poison into their like, it's just not fucking, like, I'm sure there's different, like, in certain spaces and times in life, I'm sure venom can be used for certain ailments at very, 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 very small levels, but all those different kinds in a condensed version. And I was like, oh, like shit, the year of the snake, like, holy shit. Like, I was like, wow, this makes so much fucking sense. And not only is it like, and I like snakes. I generally do. I respect them as creatures. However, I don't respect snake people that act disrespectfully and incompetently. Snakes are actually very intelligent. They're very intelligent creatures. They're very sensitive to their environment, and true snakes do not do that. They wouldn't like go out of their way to bite themselves or whatever. Hang on one sec, or hang on, baby. Either way, I was researching, I was like, holy shit, so how do I, like, and then also people with, that are affected by the spike protein specifically, they started getting more candida, and I was like, holy shit, well, this explains, like, the ongoing yeast infection that I've had for, like, the past year, that I can alchemize my body and be healthy all I want, but I'm like, oh, well, I'm actually surrounded by people who've got the fucking vaccine. And that's going to affect, that's going to affect me. Go on, baby. So I was like, all right, well, I got to detox and stuff like that. It's just, I shouldn't have to be fucking doing this because of people's incompetency and lack of respect for themselves and their own bodies. So shout out to the people who stood their ground and didn't get the vaccine, because you're in the clear for blood clots and other diseases and stuff. If you did get the vaccine, ask yourself why the fuck you did that. I can guarantee you got it out of fear of losing your job, whatever, fear of like, you don't trust your own body. You trust what the government says about you, which inherently involves instilling fear in people. Tell me how that's sustainable. It's not. But I was like, well, so we're dealing with snake people with several different venom strands in them, about to blood clot. And I'm like, okay, I can see, I was like, I got to take on the spirit of like, whatever animals can like are like not affected by snake venom. And one of them was the honey badger. I was like, this is okay, like this is gonna be great. I can definitely study and research and get on the honey badger wavelength. There's a few others. I forget what else. There's like some certain rodents. And one of the other snakes was the king snake. Like that was the good one. I think it was the king snake. Don't quote me on that, but like I said, I don't have anything against snakes. It's just the snake people now. And I think that there's like definitely the good natural snakes that we see in nature, and then there's people that are snake-like when they shouldn't be because they're humans. They're supposed to be using the prefrontal cortex part of their brain. They're not. They're using the reptilian part of their brain, which involves fear, trauma, anxiety, control, survival. They're not using the human part of their brain. If they did, they would have pre-thought and planned and coordinated like what's the best outcome here in regards to should I take this vaccine or not? How will it affect me, myself, and others? And I'm sorry, actually I'm not sorry to inform you that you're very wrong. And I want to ask a question. Do you really love yourself? Do you really think that you love yourself in doing that? You love the cells of your body. You trust them. You trust yourself. You trust your heart. That you listen to... It's just, that's the chaos of people is like, you put them in any sort of pressure or fear, they just, and how can I blame them for that? But there's a line where there can be blame, and then there's a line where I can, relate, but lately it's not relatable at all. It's just negligence and incompetency, and then lack of respect, not only for themselves, but for other people. So yeah, definitely check it out. Maybe I'll make a post about the study and the different types of venoms and then the different animals that are like immune to it. Like I said, honey badger being like one of the main ones. So, peace out. This was a very like cerebral kind of video. I found that information astounding, like very astounding. Like I said, I love snakes. I love anacondas specifically. They're very smooth, slow, loving. But this shit, no. That's like Vatican snake like shit, like viper shit. So either way, honey badger out. Peace out.